Hello, everybody. This is Peter the Book Lover, and this is Movie Talk. This is 3 movie recommendations that I have for you. Let's talk about these movies. Hello, everybody. I'm Peter the Book Lover here, and in these videos, I like to talk about movies. This is 3 movie recommendations. Now, I'm changing this a little bit. This was Movie Talk to where I talked about 3 movies that I watched, but I seen a couple movies that I kind of don't want to review because they were pretty bad. There's a lot of bad movies out there, and I prefer to talk about movies that I really enjoy. So instead of talking about the last 3 movies that I've watched, I'm gonna recommend 3 different movies. So all these movies I approve of. So let's get into these. Before I get into the movies, I want to thank everybody for being here. You're awesome for being here. Thank you for being here. Okay, the first one I want to talk about is Wreck. This is from 2007, and this is directed by Jaume Belegro and Paco Plaza. And what this is about a film crew that goes with a firefighting crew, and they wind up going to a building because they get a call, and there's a woman in there, and they go visit this woman, and this woman winds up biting somebody, and things start going crazy in the building, and then they get trapped in the building because they get quarantined, and they're in this building, and yeah, that's pretty much the premise of this, and a lot of crazy things happen in this movie. Now, the thing that the things that I liked about this movie, the acting was pretty decent, and the idea of it was pretty cool. They're in this building, and there's all these crazy attacks going on. I do like this movie, and I recommend it, but I have a couple problems with this movie. My biggest problem with this movie is that this is subtitles. This is made in Spain, and this is in Spanish, and they have subtitles. And I don't mind the subtitles, but the problem is that the subtitles were very difficult to read. They were speaking really fast, and it was hard to follow the subtitles, so it was a little bit difficult. Another thing that's kind of goofy about this movie is everybody's complaining about this guy that keeps on filming. And the thing about it is, in this situation, why would you want to keep on filming? Because it's like all this crazy stuff is going on, and it's very life-threatening stuff. So I believe the guy would have stopped a long time ago. What I did like about this movie was the actress that's like the host of the podcast. Her name is Manuela Velasco. She plays Angela, and the thing about it is she kind of looks very put together in the beginning of this movie, but near the end of this movie, she starts falling apart. I forgot to mention this is a found footage type of movie, and the things I did like, man, is there is at the end of this movie, there is kind of like a climax of this movie. At the very end of the movie, there's something that's like a higher skill of special effects, and it's really cool, man. There's the ending of this movie is pretty cool. Although at the very end of this movie, there's something that happens, and it's like if you've watched any movies, you're like, this is going to happen, and sure enough, it happens. But like I say, I do plan on watching more Wreck movies. This was enjoyable. I could give this a thumbs up, and that's all I got to say about that movie. Now, the next movie I'm going to talk about is Carrie, directed by Brian De Palma. And if you don't know who Brian De Palma is, he did 2 excellent movies. He's done a lot of good movies, but my two These are my three favorite movies by him. Carrie, Scarface is another one of my favorite movies by him, and Carlito's Way. All these movies are excellent. This is from 1976, and the premise to this is a girl in high school that's got telekinetic powers. She can move things with her mind. And prom is coming up, and she gets invited to the prom, and there's a prank that gets played on her, but the prank goes very wrong. Now, this has got a lot of actors. The last movie, I really couldn't talk about the actors because they were a bunch of people that I've never heard of. But this has got a lot of actors and actresses that I am very familiar with. Okay, so let's talk about the cast of this movie. Sissy Spacek is in this movie. Piper Laurie plays the mother, the crazy religious mother. Amy Irving is the girl that plays, that starts out playing a prank on her, but then she feels guilty, so she tries to make amends with this girl. John Travolta plays a pretty wicked Billy Nolan, and this is a very wicked character. I forgot to mention this is written by Stephen King. William Katz is a guy that was in a TV series called The Greatest American Hero, and he's a pretty good actor. I enjoyed him in this. Nancy Allen is in this movie. She plays this crazy, mean person in this movie. She's been in quite of other movies as well. I believe she's in RoboCop and this movie Blowout, and a couple other movies, and she's a pretty good actress. Betty Buckley plays the teacher that doesn't like people picking on Carrie. And PJ Souls, she's from Halloween, and she's also in the movie Stripes and Rock and Roll High School. And Sidney Lasik, this guy is from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. So this has got a good cast. One interesting thing about this that doesn't pertain to the movie, but it does pertain to the movie, is that the people that were going to be in Star Wars had a choice to be either in this movie or in Star Wars. So all the actors tried out for these two movies at the same time, and certain people went to Star Wars and other people went to this movie. Now, let me give you my opinion of this movie. Now, this movie is very high on my list of movies. This movie is excellent. The pacing of the movie is great. Leading up to the prank that causes disaster is fantastic. This is a great movie before the disaster happens. The mother plays this over-the-top religious mother. And Sissy Spacek does a great job of playing the girl that really doesn't know a lot of things about life because of the mother doesn't teach her anything. And when this movie gets to the prank and the disaster happens, this has like 3 different endings to this movie, and they are all excellent. You know, when the prank happens, one of the best scenes in movie history happened. I love the events that happen once this prank happens, and it really backfires severely. And then after the prank happens, there's another part of this movie that's excellent, man. I'm not joking. It's just like there's a scene that's like you almost feel so bad for Carrie because she went through this horrible event, then she comes home and runs into another horrible event. And then the very end of this movie has an excellent, like, blow you away scene that's like, wow, you know what I mean? I just love the very end of this. If you're familiar with the Friday the 13th movies, it's kind of like that. It ends like Friday the 13th, and part of the reason why Friday the 13th is very popular is because the very end of Friday the 13th, which is pretty cool. I love movies that do that, that give you multiple endings. And it does. Carrie is amazing. I highly recommend it. If you have not seen it, my suggestion is don't watch Carrie Part 2 because that is nowhere near as good. And do not watch the remakes of Carrie because neither one of them is nearly as good as this movie. This movie is fantastic. Brian De Palma is a fantastic director, and I really enjoyed this movie. Okay, the last movie that I'm going to talk about is Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice. This is from 2024, and this is directed by Tim Burton. Now, this is a sequel to the movie Beetlejuice, and the premise of this movie is that there's a death in the family, and the original family from Beetlejuice comes to this funeral, and one of the younger character, Jenna Ortega, she accidentally goes into the afterlife and gets sucked into the underworld, and they got to get her back from the underworld. And let me get into the actors of this movie. Michael Keaton, playing Beetlejuice, does a fantastic job. Winona Ryder, she does a fantastic job playing the girl, I think Lisa, or I forgot the name. Catherine O'Hara does a fantastic job as playing the mother from the original Beetlejuice. Jenny Ortega plays the young family member that gets sucked into the afterworld. Justin Thorax is a young actor. She's Jenna Ortega runs into Justin Thorax, and from meeting him, she accidentally gets sucked into the afterworld. Willem Dafoe is in this movie as well, and he does a fantastic job in this movie. Monica Bellucci is plays this Beetlejuice's ex-wife, and she does a fantastic performance. She actually plays a soul sucker, and the way that they animate her coming to life is fantastic. Arthur Conti is an actor that plays kind of a scumbag. Not like a total scumbag, not like a movie villain, but not a really good character at the same time. There's a cameo by Danny DeVito, which is excellent. And I highly recommend this movie. This movie was a lot of fun. It's very enjoyable. And if you have not went to the movie theaters to see this, I feel sorry for you. Because when you rent this on DVD or you stream this movie, you're going to be like, wow, this movie is fantastic. I'm not really going to give anything away, but there is a baby Beetlejuice. And the baby Beetlejuice is just fantastic. I love the baby Beetlejuice. There's a part of this movie to where they kind of switch to animation, and it's kind of like a Pixar movie for a moment, which is really cool. They did a fantastic job of, because there's an actor from the original movie didn't want to come back for this movie, so they made a 3D animation of his death. Oh, it's fantastic, that scene. I really love it. I'm not going to give away what it is. And there's a lot of twists and turns in this movie, and I think you're going to really enjoy this. If you have not checked out Beetlejuice, you should check it out. And I know I've said his name more than 3 times, so I'd be invaded by Beetlejuice if if it was real. Okay, so that's the video. Pretty interesting movies. All of these movies are great, and from now on, I'm just going to talk about the movies that I really enjoy. I mean, because I really don't want to talk down on certain movies. I'd rather just recommend movies that I really enjoyed. A lot of times I'm going to talk about movies that I've enjoyed in the past that I rewatched, you know, like Star Wars. One of these days, I'm going to talk about Star Wars. Maybe I'll make an episode where I do all 3 Star Wars movies, rewatch them. All these are movies that I've recently watched. I'm not going to talk about movies that I watched a long time ago. So that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you've seen any of these movies and you want to give me your opinion, let me know what you think of these movies. Do you agree with me? Are these great movies? I think you will, because Carrie is amazing. Wreck was pretty cool. I liked it. And Beetlejuice. That's a new movie, and it's actually very good. Very, very good. I really enjoyed it. If you haven't subscribed, can you please subscribe to the channel? I really appreciate that. And I really thank you for giving me your time. You're awesome for giving me your time. And I hope to see you in the next video. See ya.